My daughter's husband laughed at my gift and threw it away, but in the box. I was halfway through tying the ribbon when my hands began to shake, not from age, but from the memory of how my daughter used to clap whenever I gave her anything at all, even a pebble I'd polished smooth from the river. That was before she married a man who measured love by price tags and laughter by cruelty. The box in my lap was small, plain, and wrapped in brown paper. No shine, no glamour, just a neat bow tied carefully the way my late wife taught me, slow, patient, with respect. I smoothed the edges once more and whispered, "Please," though I wasn't sure to whom, maybe to time itself. It was my daughter's birthday, and I was already late. The house loomed larger than it had any right to, a modern palace of glass and marble perched on a hill overlooking a city that had long forgotten men like me. As I walked up the wide steps, my old shoes squeaked in protest. I paused, straightened my dark blue office shirt, and adjusted the sleeves. I wanted to look presentable. I always did. Inside, laughter spilled out like champagne. Music hummed. Expensive voices floated through the air, sharp and confident. I recognized none of them. At the door, my daughter smiled when she saw me, but it was a careful smile, practiced, the kind you use for strangers. "Abu," she said softly, "you made it." "I wouldn't miss it," I replied, holding up the box. "I brought something." Before she could answer, her husband appeared, tall, perfect hair, perfect teeth. A man who looked like success had personally chosen him. "Oh," he said, eyes flicking to the gift. "Is that for us?" "For you," I said gently, "for her." He took the box from my hands as if it weighed nothing. How quaint. Something tightened in my chest. They gathered everyone in the living room, glasses raised, cameras ready. I stood near the wall, my gift already forgotten on a side table among glittering bags and branded boxes. "Time for presents," my son-in-law announced. He picked up gift after gift, designer scarves, jewelry, envelopes thick with cash, commenting loudly on each. Laughter followed him like applause. Then he reached my box. "What's this?" he asked, lifting it with 2 fingers. "My father," my daughter said quickly. "He." "Oh," he interrupted, "this should be interesting." He shook it lightly, no sound. The room leaned in. He tore the paper, opened the lid, and stared inside for half a second. Then he laughed. A loud, sharp laugh that cut through the room like glass. "You're kidding me," he said. "This." He held it up, an old leather-bound notebook, worn edges, no gold, no shine. "This is what you brought?" he asked, turning to me. "A used diary." My mouth opened, but no words came. The room chuckled awkwardly. "Honestly," he said, shaking his head, "some people just don't understand when to stop trying." Then, without warning, he tossed the box and its contents straight into the trash. Just like that. The room went silent. My daughter's face drained of color. "Why would you?" "Relax," he said, "it's junk." Something inside me cracked, not loudly but deeply, like an old beam giving way. I turned and walked out. No one stopped me. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my hands. These hands had built houses, fixed engines, held my wife as she took her last breath. They had written every word in that notebook over 40 years. The notebook wasn't a diary. It was a ledger. A record. A promise. I had planned to explain, to tell my daughter the story behind it, but now the box sat in a trash bin, buried under wine bottles and wrapping paper. Or so they thought. The next morning, my phone rang. It was my daughter. "Abu," she said, voice trembling, Did you put anything else in the box?" "Yes," I replied calmly, "everything." There was a pause. He found something, at the bottom, an envelope, with your handwriting. "I know." "Abu," she whispered, "what is this?" I closed my eyes. "It's your inheritance." They drove to my house that afternoon. Both of them. Her husband didn't smile this time. They sat across from me at my old dining table, the notebook between us, open. Inside were dates, amounts, signatures. This can't be real, he said, flipping pages. These investments, these properties. They're real, I said, very real. I had started small, buying land when no one wanted it, investing quietly, never showing, never boasting. Every rupee I saved, every sacrifice I made went into that notebook, not for me. For her. For your future, I said to my daughter, in case the world ever turned its back on you. Her eyes filled with tears. Her husband swallowed hard, and the envelope. I nodded, the keys, the deeds, the account details. He looked at me then, not with laughter but fear. You threw it away, I reminded him gently, because you thought it was worthless. The silence stretched. I didn't know, he said finally. No, I agreed, you didn't. My daughter stood up. Abu, I'm so sorry. I smiled sadly. You don't need to be. She turned to her husband. You laughed, you humiliated him. He said nothing. The gift wasn't the notebook, I added. It was trust, and you failed that test. They left quietly. 2 weeks later, my daughter came alone. She hugged me like she used to when she was small, tight, desperate, real. I left him, she said. I didn't ask why. Sometimes, the trash reveals more than the table ever could. Now the notebook sits where it belongs, on my shelf beside my wife's photo. The box is gone, but the lesson remains. Never judge a gift by its wrapping. And never laugh at a grandfather who brings you a box. Because sometimes, inside it, is everything you thought he never had.